Welcome back to another episode on the Jesse López vlog. Today, we're talking about U.S. government workers, federal workers, receiving an email on Saturday asking them to list their accomplishments from the past week or resign. But before we get into the episode, make sure that you like this video. Subscribe to Jesse López vlog and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future episodes. We'll get right into it. This is coming from a BBC.com article by Laura Blasey and Anna Fagay titled, List Accomplishments or Resign, Musk Tells U.S. Federal Workers. Washington, D.C. BBC News. U.S. government workers received an email on Saturday afternoon asking them to list their accomplishments from the past week or resign, the latest development in the Trump administration's efforts to scale back the federal workforce, according to them. The email came after Trump's billionaire confidant Elon Musk posted on X that employees would shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week. Failure to respond will be taken as a resignation, he wrote. Now let's take a look at what he posted on X, former Twitter. Elon Musk posted, consistent with President @Real Donald Trump's instructions, all federal employees will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week. Failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. And of course, millions of people have already about 60 million views and people giving their 10 cents and 5 cents. Back to the article. Musk, as the head of the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, has been leading an outside effort to aggressively curtail government spending through funding cuts and firings. The email arrived in inboxes shortly after Trump spoke at the Conservative Political Action Conference, CPAC. The messages came with the subject line, "What did you do last week?" from a sender listed as HR. The Office of Personnel Management, OPM, the federal government's human resources agency, confirmed the email was authentic in a statement to CBS, the BBC's U.S. news partner. As part of the Trump's administration's commitment to an efficient and accountable federal workforce, OPM is asking employees to provide a brief summary of what they did last week by the end of Monday, CCing their manager, it said. Agencies will determine any next steps. In a copy of the email obtained by the BBC, employees were asked to explain their accomplishments from the past week in 5 bullet points. So 5. Without disclosing classified information before midnight on Monday. The message did not mention whether a failure to respond would be considered a resignation. So let's take a look at what it looks like real quick. So this is coming from News Now on X. Federal employees are now receiving the following email after President Trump instructed Elon Musk to get more aggressive with cuts. It's titled, "What did you do last week? Please reply to this email with approximately 5 bullets of what you accomplished last week and CC your manager. Please do not send any classified information, links, or attachments. Deadline is this Monday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time." Back to the article. The American Federation of Government Employees, the largest union representing the federal employees, criticized the message as cruel and disrespectful and vowed to challenge any unlawful terminations of federal employees. Once again, Elon Musk and the Trump administration have shown their utter disdain for federal employees and the critical service they provide to the American people, Everett Kelly, union president, said in a statement. On Sunday morning, Musk wrote on his social media platform X that a large number of responses have been received already, adding, "These are the people who should be considered for promotion." Newly confirmed FBI Director Kash Patel told his employees in an email that they should pause in response to the OPM memo. FBI personnel may have received an email from OPM requesting information, Patel wrote in a message obtained by CBS News. The FBI, through the Office of the Director, is in charge of all our review processes and will conduct reviews in accordance with the FBI procedures. Early in the day, Trump touted cuts and tried a crowd of supporters at CPOC that the work of federal employees had been inadequate because some of them work remotely at least some of the time. We're removing all the unnecessary, incompetent, and corrupt bureaucrats from the federal workforce, the president told the crowd at the annual conference in suburban Washington on Saturday afternoon. We want to make government smaller, more efficient, he added. We want to keep the best people, and we're not going to keep the worst people. Elon Musk's team has exacted wide-ranging changes to the U.S. federal infrastructure through DOGE and with the approval from the White House. Thousands of government employees at the Internal Revenue Service, IRS, the Pentagon, and the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, as well as other agencies, have been fired in recent weeks. The email mirrors Musk's handling of the employees after he acquired social media platform Twitter, now called X, as of 2022. The staff there shrunk under his ownership. He issued ultimatums that included a now infamous request to commit to being extremely hardcore at work or resign. Trump has reportedly applauded Musk's government-cutting measures. In a Truth Social post, Trump said that Musk is doing a great job in reducing the size of the federal government and that he would like to see him get more aggressive in the pursuit. End of article. In another article by NPR, Elon Musk says federal employees must either document their work or lose their jobs, by Emma Bauman. This is at npr.org. Federal workers across the U.S. government received an email on Saturday afternoon asking them to account for what they did in the past week, and Elon Musk says they will lose their jobs if they don't respond. The emails arrived several hours after Musk, who is leading the Department of Government Efficiency team that has orchestrated the mass firings of at least 20,000 government workers over the past month, gave notice about the apparent ultimatum. Consistent with President @Real Donald Trump's instructions, all federal employees will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week, Musk wrote on X, which he owns. The post ends, failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. The emails, which NPR has confirmed, were sent by the Office of Personnel Management, OPM. They asked workers to reply and provide approximately 5 bullets of what you accomplished last week and CC your manager, and give a deadline of Monday, 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. They asked that no classified information be shared. OPM said in a statement that the emails are part of the Trump administration's commitment to an efficient and accountable federal workforce and that agencies will determine any next steps. The legality of the request is questionable, given it was made directly by OPM and not by agencies themselves. Many federal workers are covered by civil service protections to prevent them from being fired without cause. Last week, in response to the mass firings of probationary employees, labor unions sued the Trump administration, claiming OPM has no authority to manage employees of federal agencies other than its own. Their complaint points to federal statute that states the head of an executive department or military department may prescribe regulations for the government of his department, the conduct of its employees, the distribution of performances of its business, and the custody, use, and preservation of its records, papers, and property. In other words, while OPM handles many human resource functions for the federal workforce, it does not have congressional authority to tell other agencies what to do. Each agency has its own authorizing statutes that govern its administration, the union's attorneys wrote. Suzanne Summerlin, a labor attorney and expert in federal labor relations, said that a termination for refusing to respond to the email would likely not be legal. Firing someone who was unable or unwilling to respond would be found to be a disproportionate punishment by a labor arbitrator, she said. But the employee could still face a discipline as a result. A letter of reprimand or a suspension would likely be found by an arbitrator to be proportionate, Summerlin said. Many employees were left confused by the implications of the email. In an email to the employees at the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, agency officials said that that the email from OPM is a valid request. At another agency, in a division within the Defense Department, a supervisor told staff to wait to reply until they receive internal guidance on how to respond, according to an email shared with NPR. In the interim, please do not reply given the many sensitive activities of the department, the email read. In a statement responding to the email notices, the head of the American Federation of Government Employees, AFGE, which represents more than 800,000 civil servants, said it would challenge any unlawful firings of federal workers. Once again, Elon Musk and the Trump administration have shown their utter disdain for federal employees and the critical services they provide to the American people, AFGE National President Everett Kelly said. It is cruel and disrespectful to hundreds of thousands of veterans who are wearing their second uniform in the civil service to be forced to justify their job duties to this out-of-touch, privileged, unelected billionaire who has never performed one single hour of honest public service in his life, Kelly added. The emails come as Musk and the new Trump administration continue to aggressively fire government workers and remove top leaders from federal agencies. It's a familiar management tactic for Musk. The billionaire pulled a similar move at the helm of at least two of his companies, Twitter, before he rebranded the social platform as X, and Tesla, where he mandated weekly reports from his employees on productivity and attendance. End of article. So where do we go from there? As many of you will be coming into work on Monday and may be seeing this message, one thing you should know is, most importantly, get with your leadership and obtain instructions from them on what to do. I'm Jesse López. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you got some value out of it. I know there's so many questions out there. A lot of people are possibly afraid of what their future will be. So many questions, so much frustration and confusion and anxiety. Hang in there. I hope that you will get the answers that you need, and I hope everything is going to be fine. I'm Jesse López. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.